to make sure you start with a diverse slate of candidates and impose that upon any recruiting firm you may use. And I will tell you that recruiting for one of the spots that we had this year, I actually sent the recruiting firm back, not you, Lise, sent the recruiting firm back and told them to start all over again, because we did not get anyone of color, nor did I get a female candidate. So we just started all over, and we were going to take as long as we needed to make sure that we started with a good, diverse slate. Currently, 60% of the lawyers in our department are women or minorities. And it's imperative that when you have 40% of law school graduates coming out are women, then we should start filling the pipeline to have more women general counsels. Now, looking at this from an overall diversity perspective, and I hate to keep throwing statistics out, but this is important, 9% of Fortune 500 general counsel are minorities. When we know that minorities make up 35% of the U.S. population, then we know that there should be more than 9% minority Fortune 500 general counsels. A part of creating diversity not only comes through our individual influence in the hiring process, but also comes through participating in various programs, such as summer programs for law students. These activities expedite filling the pipeline of diverse lawyers headed for the executive suite. We all know the statistics. We have analyzed these demographics for many years. It's just time to use our influence to make it happen. And that's why I'm so proud to be a part of this effort with CCWC, because this is a part of making it happen. Now lastly, the thought of purposeful influence causes me to think about not just focusing on women in the workplace, but going even further and finding the broader roadmap into the social conscious side. Looking at what makes me feel good about giving to my community. I spoke earlier about how education was a priority for my family. And this is the DNA predisposition that grabs at my emotional core when I see disadvantaged children are not getting an education, and they deserve to achieve their dream that America has to offer. Yet, in what's going on today, that's moving out of their reach, and very quickly. Because of the economic crisis we have today, it is an imminent problem when our children lose their ability to learn and achieve. We have kids that are literally going to school hungry. How can children learn when they're going to school hungry? Today we have as many as 17 million children, 25% of all children nationwide. They do not have consistent access to enough nutritious food to live a healthy life. However, we expect these kids to go to school, and we expect them to learn, but they have not had food, and they have not eaten before they get to the classroom. So when they get to the classroom, all they hear is an empty stomach. We know that children cannot learn when they do not have proper nutrition. And the reason I'm taking the time to mention this today is, and it may not be, one of those topics that people talk about a lot, but it's important. I was watching the news and rushing to work as we usually do, and I heard a report. They were interviewing a young lady. Her and her mom were just put out of their home. And this young lady was asked about school. And her parents had lost their jobs, They had lost their home, and they had very little food. And the young lady basically said that the way she gets through the day at school is that she forgets about food. She just has to forget that food exists. She has to forget that she's hungry, just so she can learn. And that brought a tear to my eye, and I was thinking, how can a child go to school and feel like they have to forget about food, they have to forget about eating, just so they can learn? Something's wrong with this picture when we're sitting here in America and have kids that are going to school without eating, and we expect them to learn. So, as I'm looking at what my social purpose is, I knew that there was something that I needed to do about that. So besides being the general counsel, this is the next phase, this is the next step, is to use where I am today to impact something in my community. A part of making this career move to Darden was the consideration of where and how the company puts its money and influence. What is its corporate social purpose? And the fortunate thing is that Darden's purpose is very well matched to mine. Darden has a foundation that, among other things, focuses on access to post-secondary education. Last year, it provided more than $2 million in funding to support